Culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce, XXV, Double I.
Rome.
D-Malo.
Bro Flying.
T-Buggy, man.
Just the greatest sports show on the planet. La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say. We're back. It's your favorite sports show. Gas presents Sports for the Culture. I'm your host tonight at Bryce XXV Double I. As always, I'm joined by the gang. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. The man to the right of me, introduce yourself first.
I guess I'm on the righty.
Well, yeah, right. If you're looking at the screen, man, I'm trying to help. Yeah. I'm trying to help the viewer. That was a viewer-friendly introduction.
Hey, it's your man T-Buggy, man. I'm here. Wash your hands, wash your ass. I know what it is. Gas Elite, coach. Got my new gear on. My new gear came in, coached in it. Got blown out in my new gear, but you know, we still grinding.
Whoa.
Pause. Hold on, pause. Oh, text. Started off with text.
I grew up with fellas getting blown out. We can't get blown out no more. Y'all ain't never blown nobody out. Right? We got blown out together.
Hey, yo.
Boy, right here, man.
Muy picante.
We all lost by almost 50. Hey, but it's your man T-Buggy. Hey, it's gonna be a good show, man. Starting off already, so let's get it.
Hey, speaking of that, man, I was at football practice over the weekend, man, and everyone was talking about how we got blown out by 50. Said, damn, T ain't telling about how we won the first game.
Yes, I did.
Just went back and reported the blowout.
No. I told them both.
All right, cool.
Bad news travel faster than good news.
Good point. All right, DeMelo, introduce yourself, bro.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, and I don't know. Today, I have something witty to say. I don't know. I just don't know who to throw this energy at. We'll figure it out throughout the show.
All right, man. You know, with T getting blown out and G throwing energy around, man, it's gonna be a fun show, man. It's gonna be a fun show. Hey, y'all see the hat though, right? It's MLB opening week, man. So we got a few things we're gonna jump into. I just want to switch it up one time. Let's start out with some MLB talk real quick. AB, we already flagged them on the play.
Giving out text early on.
Right, bro. Everything on fast forward tonight, bro. No time to waste. Yeah, bro. MLB opening week. Gee, I know you're excited for this, man. T, I know you don't give a damn, but
I thought that was a Walgreens hat.
Don't disrespect the curly W, man. That's crazy. But real quick, G, how you feeling this year about your Yankees? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about your squad for a quick set.
Man, these assholes don't win in October, November when it matters the most, man, to blow up the whole team. Send Judge out west. I don't give a fuck. And let's just rebuild again because I can't do this shit one more time, man. It's been hurting me since 2009, pause. So to see these fellas just, they don't even spend the bag. That's the worst part about this shit. Lord, if you hear me, let Juan Soto come to the Yankees. It's only right.
Now y'all need Juan Soto.
I always wanted Juan Soto, man. Listen, man. Right now it's the Yankees and then the rest of the field for me, man. Look at the Mets. They already lost their fucking reliever playing in the World Series. Man, listen, man. You got this. It's the Yankees.
I'm interested to see how y'all do the season because, like, Judge is a bona fide superstar, but last year, even to his standards, was ridiculous, bro. Like, nobody saw that type of year coming from him last season. I'm
talking about betting on yourself. Betting on yourself.
Talk about betting on yourself. Yeah, that's a definition. That's like if Lamar Jackson wants to look at the last example of someone betting on himself, look at Aaron Judge. But I wonder, like, can he repeat that? You know what I'm saying?
No, hell no.
And how good he'll be this season.
For him to solidify that, he at least have to give you 50 home runs.
Because, bro, he's not gonna be able to just like last year. He literally carried y'all, bro. Like he
literally
put y'all on his back. But like somebody else got to step up. I mean, what's up with Stanton still getting the bag? I don't know what's going on with him.
I mean, it's all right. I mean, we got some good guys coming out
Torres need to
minor
step
leagues.
up.
But
I need to see Torres. And then what's up? I don't know. Y'all got that young boy starting at shortstop, so it should be an
I
interesting
know he's looking
option
pretty
to see if,
good.
yeah.
He's looking pretty good this offseason. For me right now, it's all hype. Fuck the regular season. These assholes just got to make it to October, November, where it matters the most. Because we all know the Yankees are going to the playoffs, but can they get past the second round?
Yeah, nah, I'm with you. That seems to be you guys' struggle. My team, on the other hand, we're like in the exact opposite situation as you guys. We are like, right? Yeah, that must have sucked. If you go to lengths of photoshopping your favorite free agent in your team's gear, only for them not to, sign with your squad, that's a lot of Photoshop work going to waste. That's a lot of time wasted. I mean, maybe you're nice with the Photoshop, but that shit would have took me like hours or so. But man, my Nats, bro, we in straight rebuild mode, and that shit is sad to see, bro. We've had literally, I tweeted this out the other day, man. Debatably, three of the top five players in baseball today were one at one point on the Nationals, bro. Juan Soto, arguably top five. Trey Turner, arguably top five.
Bro, he is top five.
And
Trey
Bryce
Turner is better than fucking Bryce. Not
Bryce
than Bryce
Harper
Harper.
and Bryce Harper,
Mhm.
arguably top five. They were all they were all in the Nationals in the last 5 years. That shit is
Yo,
depressing.
Turner, or fucking Mike. Damn, I can't even say his name. Fuck.
Trout,
Yes, who you taking?
bruh, I don't know because, damn, if Trout get back on this Trout shit, I would go Trout. But like Trey Turner he does like a little bit of everything, bro. And he hitting home runs, and he steals more base. He's the fastest player in the game. The way I don't know how the Nationals let him walk because he actually wanted to stay. It's disrespectful, bro. I'm almost scared for the Nationals to get another good player because, like, I don't even want us to get no good players. Like, I just know we're gonna lose them. That shit is crazy, bro. That shit is crazy. But
All of DC sports teams just suck. Just say.
it's like, nah, they do all suck, but they all have like a
See,
different
even from
issue.
the Commanders, all the way down to the baseball team into the Wizards.
The Commanders don't. If I'm being like totally objective, you know what I'm saying? Like the Commanders don't suck, man. Like honestly, they're just decent, and being decent is just a bad spot to be in. Like the Wizards, they suck, bro. Like because they're in a sport where, like, at least the Commanders are in a sport where anybody can kind of win it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like anybody wins in the NFL, but like everybody kind of got a shot when the season first kicks off. In basketball, it's only like 5 or 6 teams that really ever have a shot. And if you don't have a path to try to be one of those 5 or 6 teams, what are you doing? You might as well just kick rocks. And the Wizards are one of those teams. They might as well kick rocks, bro, because they're not trying to be one of the 5 best teams. Then the Nationals, they have a totally different problem. They get great players and they lose them. Every team got a different problem, bro. They just need to make me GM.
The good mister.
The good mister, man. The good mister just went on a rant. Thank y'all for listening to my TED talk, man. But I guess we'll jump into the next topic, bro. Embiid or Jokic for MVP? We've been talking about this a lot recently. Somehow we keep ending up talking about it again because it seems like somehow the news keeps advancing and keeps developing. I don't know how an MVP battle gets new news this often, but how y'all feeling, bro? Embiid or Jokic? T, start with you.
I think my sentiment was always leaning toward whatever the public, whatever social media was leaning. It was Jokic. Then it was Embiid, and then when Embiid was a no-show in the head-to-head matchup, now I'm back Jokic.
Bro, you telling me you just going with the Twitter opinion as a Twitter sphere rocks? You just riding that out.
Yeah.
I feel you know. Every once in a while they're right on Twitter. Let's be honest.
That's true too, but also because I feel like the award has really lost its value. I'm not as invested in it, especially if you could win multiple MVPs and no one thinks your team has a shot of winning a championship. I'm not as invested in it, but I'm leaning Jokic just because I wanted Embiid to play. Like, I feel like as a player, that probably cares about the award, you gotta tough it out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta figure out how to make it on the court that game and be an MVP. So I'm gonna go Jokic. Jokic showed up, man.
All right, so you think Embiid not playing in that single game, although it was a head-to-head matchup, you think that should, lessen his chance at MVP?
Yeah, I mean, and that's not no tangible stat, right? But I do think you need, like, when the dogs play the dogs, that's a indicator. If you give me 30 and you going against guys that losing record, you dropping 30 every time you play the Wizards. Drop 30 every time you play Milwaukee. Drop 30 every time you play, I don't know, whoever is a good team. You know what I'm saying? And I thought this would have been a perfect opportunity. The Grizzlies, drop 30 when you play the Grizzlies. This would have been a perfect opportunity for Embiid to make his case and cement that he's the MVP. And my man didn't even show up did he even show up to the game? Was he in the arena?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, three-time MVP with no highlight plays is wild. Yeah.
I disagree with that. Jokic got a ton of it. A ton. Jokic does some stuff that Embiid can't do. I mean, and that goes both ways. But Jokic does some stuff that other basketball players can't do at all. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Facts. You make some good points there, man. And I think, the number one point that you made, well, at least that stood out the most to me, was how much value the award has lost. I think you make a real good point with that. And what does the award mean, man? And are we at the point where maybe there needs to be 2 awards? Maybe there needs to be 3 awards. Like we just got off talking about baseball, where in that sport you have an American League MVP and a National League MVP, right? Then you have a World Series MVP, right? Then you maybe we just, I don't know, maybe this system is something about it ain't fitting. It doesn't feel like anybody's worthy of the award. And that shit is weird, bro. like, why does it feel like nobody's worthy of the MVP this year, bro?
make them play one-on-one.
Right. And I think that's like why it went to that standard of like best player on the best team, because it made it so much easier to choose it, It created a standard. And without one, I think it's lost its value. I couldn't agree more with that. G, how you feeling, man? Jokic or Embiid? And do you feel like Embiid missing that head-to-head matchup should affect his status as MVP?
Well, if you guys watching the last week's show, I already said Jokic. And remember what Nick said to me? I'll never be nothing. When he went off. But no, it's just it's going back to what T said, you're right. Like, it lost its value. Like, the fact that for me, it lost its value when Westbrook won it. It was like, all right, now it's just about stats, no longer about how good your team is. And not to diminish Westbrook, because my man was a triple-double king that year, and now Jokic. But we're not saying that the Nuggets are non-contenders. We're saying that the Nuggets are contenders, but other than the chip contenders. I think that's the one thing that none of us here can solidify just yet. We know that they're a great squad, but can they make it to the conference finals or make it to the finals coming out the West? Now, when we talk about the Sixers, are we here? Is anybody here saying that the Sixers are going to make it to the conference finals?
I think
right.
They got a shot.
But when we're talking about the East, I only heard 2 names so far: Boston, and then you got the Bucks. You don't really hear too many people saying the Sixers. It's like the Sixers are afterthought.
Yeah.
So it's like, and yes, it does hurt Embiid because the year before, the reason why Embiid didn't actually win it, because he missed so many games. And I think that's been his problem the last 2 years when it comes to the different people, is that he misses a lot of games. And and now that the head-to-head matchup, this would have been his time to solidify, even if he missed so many games. Well, when you played against the MVP, you beat him. And now we don't even get to say that. It's like, all right, man, you running around.
Yeah, remember like a few weeks ago, and I said it last year too, like I was trying to like push this agenda playoff moment. I'm sorry, MVP moment. You know what I mean? Where like the MVP, once they have these one or two moments, it kind of solidifies them. Like that could have been Embiid's moment, bro. Like you got Jokic on the grand stage. You really have the ability, like how they say styles make fights. Embiid's style going against Jokic style, that matchup kind of favors Embiid, especially when we're talking about offense. Embiid offensively going against Jokic defensively. You know what I'm saying? It really favors Embiid on that side. And like he could have really showed out right there, bro. And I guess he was hurt or something was ailing him, but he played the next game, I think. You know what I mean? So it's like people were saying he ducked it. I don't want to think he ducked that, but do y'all think he ducked? Do you think he ducked that wreck purposely?
Yeah.
Y'all think that?
Yeah. Remember Embiid? So why Embiid talks crazy about Drummond, but Jokic hanging around. He bullies the smaller guys, but the guys that literally at his level, he's a no-show.
I don't think that about Embiid, man.
Nah, come on now. You saw how he talked crazy about Drummond the last several times he played him. Anytime he plays him, he dominates him. But here comes the reigning MVP that took your title not once, but twice. You're not going to come out? He basically got Devo.
It's tough, man, because it certainly looks like he ducked him. But the Embiid I know seems to be a competitor, so at least on the court, I don't know how he feels off the court, but like he definitely missed a golden opportunity. But I guess ultimately, right, what happens in the playoffs is going to make a stronger case for who should have won the MVP, no matter where it goes. Whoever drags their team to the top of their better, we're probably going to say, well, this guy really deserved it. If Jokic go out there and get a first round exit, but he got the MVP, we're going to say, nah, they should have gave it to Embiid. And
good point.
That's to your point of maybe they got to change how they do this award. Maybe you need to take the totality of the season plus the playoffs and say, now we know who was really the most valuable. You know what I mean? So
that might be the solution, man. T, you bring me to my next question I got for you guys. You know how we kind of talking about the MVP award losing its value. My question is the MVP the new All-Star game, man? Because you know how important the All-Star used to be, bro. How many All-Stars you got? How many All-Stars you got? This 8-time All-Star, 10-time All-Star. That shit used to matter, bro. When I was coming up, that mattered. But now that doesn't matter at all for real. You know what I'm saying? And the game doesn't matter to anybody, and definitely not the players. And I wonder if the MVP is approaching that same kind of thing where the MVP means so little that we're going to look back on MVPs on people's resume pretty much meaning nothing. Now, I'm not saying it's a new All-Star game now. Is that what we think it's trending to where the MVP doesn't mean anything? Gee, what do you think about that?
No. Because most of the times the MVP is a player who's a part of a championship squad, anyways. So as long as you coincide both of them together, the last time who we got that from was Giannis, the last MVP and finals winner MVP as well. And those, as long as those two coincide with each other with that particular player, then that will never diminish. Like how we were saying that All-Star games is. But that's again too, like it depends on how the league is transitioning, is it really a five position, kind of team now?
Yeah, like are we getting to the point where who cares who's the MVP? Like because you got five guys who there is no real standout guys. It's five guys around the same level. Like I don't know, man. I'm just throwing out ideas.
I think the moment that fans start voting for MVP, that's when we stop caring about the MVP. But the fact that it's writers and actually like what coaches get to vote on this particular award, who votes for these awards? Yeah, as long as those guys are voting for it, doing it, picking for us, then it's never gonna diminish. Once you got fans on it, man, you're gonna see like an average of one player getting more votes than another. You don't never want to see that.
Yeah, good point. Good point. T, what you think about that? Is the MVP the new All-Star game?
It's tough to say, man. It certainly looks like it's trending that way where just a lot of diminished value. Guys skipping it. Guys skip the All-Star game, so guys maybe not caring about the MVP award. But I will say that the legacies, that legacy talk and how guys will be remembered matters a lot. And a lot of these people, in the future, there's going to be conversations about Jokic and Embiid from players that never watched them. You know what I'm saying? So from fans that never watched them. So I think you need those certain titles and stats to quantify like a guy's career. And that's the downside of it. Like when we're talking legacies, it's kind of like the Pro Bowl, like versus all pro. Like you could say this guy has so many Pro Bowls, but people that were there remember like how many guys went to the Pro Bowl because guys just didn't go, were hurt, things like that, were in the playoffs. So I don't know if it's going that way, if it's going to trend that way, but it just feels a little hollow. But I don't think it will ever reach the point where it doesn't matter because there's always going to be guys. Like I had a coworker that talked basketball all day, man. Current basketball, past basketball, didn't play basketball, didn't watch basketball. All he knew was numbers and stats, awards. So there's going to be more of those guys, man. We data driven, AI people, So it matters. It honestly matters because. Say a 10-year-old kid right now that is watching basketball but doesn't really understand the game. 10 years from now, when they're debating Jokic versus Embiid, somebody's going to be like, hey, Joker had 3 MVPs, 4 MVPs. He was way better. And you're going to be like, and somebody that was there to see both is going to say, hold up, way better? Like, no. It's a debate if he was even better. But when you throw them titles and them awards, it's like, I don't know, man. I think it's always going to mean something, but it just might not have the value it should.
T, you being a coach, right?
Yeah.
Grading which center, who you picking?
Embiid? No, hold on. I'm picking Jokic.
And why?
He can facilitate the offense. Like he can just do more offensively than Embiid. Embiid can pass the ball a little bit. He definitely can score from a lot of spots on the floor, but Jokic is like he's dominant in more ways, if you ask me. Like he can kill you passing the ball, which is as a coach, you love to see that, man. Somebody that can get the ball and make other guys better. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm curious to see what Michael Porter Jr. would look like on another team. So,
Oh, wow.
But yeah, Jokic can really affect the game without having to shoot the ball, and that's dangerous. That's the type of player a coach will want. That's the coach in me talking.
Hey, T, you brought up a real good point though, man, about like, how somebody, 20 years down the line, 2 kids arguing Embiid versus, Jokic, who never saw them play. And that's why it's so important, bro, to get these right. You know what I mean? Because and that's why awards turning into meaningless, MVP becoming meaningless, the Pro Bowl in the NFL. No disrespect to Tyler Huntley, but Tyler Huntley, the quarterback in the Pro Bowl. You know what I'm saying? That becoming meaningless. And these accolades are things that history remembers people by. You know what I'm saying? So that tarnishes the legacy of the game whether they realize it or not. And something got to be figured out with this MVP stuff, bro. They got to start getting this right. And it has to be. They're not going to change how they're awarding it. They need to change the criteria. They're not going to change when they award it. They're not going to wait till after the playoffs. Because I think that was a great solution. They're not going to do
after
that
the first round. After the first round, my personal opinion.
Right. That's cool too. But if they're not going to do that, then they have to give some sort of criteria. They have to say the MVP is based on this. You know what I'm saying? Either it's the most spectacular performance. It's the best player on the best team. It got to be something, bro.
I mean, let's think about this realistically, right? They don't need it to be like the powers that be, the people that are benefiting off of this outside of the individual player. They don't need the lack of controversy. They love the controversy. We need the storyline. We need the clicks. We need the views. We need the conversation. So I'm not saying they're not getting it right on purpose, but don't look for them to get it right I'm gonna talk to that later when we get into football too. But don't look for the people up top to make it make sense, because there's no financial incentive for it to make sense. The financial incentive is for to make it a debate. They would love it if people would say, no, Giannis actually deserves it, and it's a 3-way race, a 4-way race. Like Tatum deserves it. But right now we got Jokic versus Embiid, so it's generating, it's paying somebody.
I got a question to both you fellas, because you guys know NBA more than me. How do you guys like the fact that it's not just it's no longer an American-born star is getting MVP? Now if you think about it, the top 3 are all global players. How do you feel about that? That it's no longer just an American star. Now it's more international players. The top 3 is literally the ones that we're talking about right now. Right now, Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
That's an interesting point. I think, and we've spoken about this on the show indirectly. So, definitely great way to bring it. Make it a direct question. Because it's unavoidable, bro. European players, foreign-born players are running the league right now, and you start to, after you acknowledge it, then you acknowledge that, hey, foreign-born players are just as good as NBA players. You feel me? Then you have to say why. Like how does like an NBA, how does a sport that's born here, or at least on this continent, become as big as it is other places, but their sports don't become as big here as ours do. You know what I mean? Like it's not like we take their sports and run with. We haven't ran with soccer to this day. You feel me? And in basketball, I think they're learning the fundamentals better, bro. I think in Europe they're teaching the game differently. I think the game here has become more about flash than it has about substance. And I think in Europe it's more about substance than it's about flash. And I think you see that in the way they show up for games. Although Luka Doncic is a very exciting player to watch, he's very straight to the point with his game. You feel me? Like it's not a whole bunch of flash with it. It's not a whole bunch of nice flashy moves and crossovers. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think that kind of lends itself to what we see. Giannis, even a Giannis. Giannis's game is he's running straight at you. You feel me? It's not a whole lot of. It's fundamentally sound, but it's not a whole lot of flash to it. And I think that is serving European-born players very well right now.
So they play very efficient. But I guess the answer to that is it's a few reasons and ways that we got here. And I think we had this. What's crazy is I think we hit on this a little bit, like in episode like 5 or 6. Like that's how long ago it was. I think we were talking about this before it got to this point. I think we was onto this already. But it's cool that it's here now. It shows you we knew what we was talking about. But one is when I think about the foreign guys, I all just up front I acknowledge Jordan. Like the state of basketball as this global entity is directly related to Michael Jordan. I want to be like Mike, and kids around the world buying into that campaign. So Mike and Nike revolutionized basketball. That's why you can be better than Mike. Sure, LeBron can be better, maybe Kobe, I don't know. But being greater than Mike, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around that. Next, I want to say how we identify talent in this country versus the rest of the world. The rest of the world, they take their players out of the general population and say, we've identified you as having potential. Get away from all this, and you're going to train with the best of the best. We have our best coaches, we have our best players, and they create a pipeline. You see it in soccer. They do the same thing in basketball. You see it in some of the Olympic sports. You're going from living with your parents and all of that to this is where you're going to learn how to learn this game and the way we want to play it. So here we got, remember I said Jordan and Nike, right? The shoe companies run basketball. The shoe companies run how we identify talent. If you're a top talent, as a kid, you play for a shoe company team. Most likely, you play for Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, New Balance, even. So it's and those guys are trying to sell shoes. They're trying to promote their brand. So they might not get the most efficient player, right? They might not get the guy that can help the team win. They're going to get the guy that can jump out the gym, though. They're going to get the guy that can catch the alley-oop, the guy that can shoot the 3 from 50 feet, the guy that can make bad shots. So how we identify talent is a huge reason. Also, they're playing for pride over there. A lot of those guys, they're not making millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? They're playing for pride. So pride for their country, love of the game. We got a lot of players here that just play because their dad played. You know what I'm saying? Pops played, so I'm playing. I'm tall, so I'm playing. This is how I can make money and get girls. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think there's a different motivation in the United States than across the seas, and that's just a cultural difference. But
So to end this off, right? How long before it's us catching up to them?
Oh, I think it's already there, bro. I think it's right. I think in a lot of ways they're catching up to us, but I think now in a lot of ways we're catching up to them. And I think the smart basketball minds are realizing the areas that we have to catch up to them in. One of the things that's really benefited, I think, the foreign-born players is, there's not the same stress on one-on-one basketball in the foreign game that there is in like our game right now. One-on-one basketball is everything, bro. Like no one even cares about. It's just like, can you beat the man in front of you? Even if you look at how they play one-on-one now, they play 2 or 3 dribbles. It's how they play one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to teach you to beat somebody instantly and get a bucket on somebody instantly. They're not teaching you how to like find the best available play instantly. It's how to get the quickest bucket, which leads to some exciting basketball watching it. You feel me? So like the NBA is also to blame for this because the NBA wants that fast-paced game. It's very exciting to watch. But if you go up against that team that makes 8-9 passes, you know what I'm saying, before they do anything, that's why the Warriors took everybody by storm for those few years, right? Because, they were putting up crazy numbers, but it was 5 or 6 passes whipping around the court before anybody ever shot the ball, And that was the example of a team catching up to the European style of basketball before everyone else did, right? Now everybody's kind of now all the best teams are kind of on that same wave. But, yeah, I don't know, bro. I think we're there, bro, where we got to catch up to them. They're still catching up to us in a lot of ways, but I think we're catching up to them too, bro.
Think of it like this: if you took Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, I don't even know who the next 2 guys would be. Maybe a Canadian guy. I don't know who the guard would be. Maybe.
And I don't trust Canadian players, man.
Okay.
Well, you say Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. You gotta throw Doncic on there, then.
Who?
Luka. You gotta throw Luka on there, right?
Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, Luka. Yeah, give me one more.
And then throw anybody at that point. You got them 4. Throw Siakam. You want Siakam? Who you want?
Yeah, he was looking good.
I feel like if you take that 5 and you try to play them with, like, I don't know, LeBron, Steph,
KD,
Dame, maybe, I don't know.
but you
smoked. So the European game, like the top of the European game, has already surpassed the top of the American.
You think they smoked them?
I think the Europeans smoke.
You think the all Euro team smokes the all American team?
Yeah, put that. Yes, we should make a graphic and put it on Twitter, IG. I think it will go viral because I think once people realize, like, whoa, they're gonna say, hold up, Jokic, Luka, Giannis. First of all, I don't even know how you get a rebound against them. You know what I'm saying?
shit.
Like, I think it's gonna be. I think you're gonna find that the 5 American pick, you're gonna be like.
How about this fucking kid from France that everybody's talking about?
I'm
That
coming
thing
out
he's
there
gonna
with
be
Ja.
legit.
I'm coming out there with Ja Morant for show.
Until he get in trouble again.
No. I'm putting Ja to one. I'm putting Ja to one because ain't nobody running with Ja, bro. Then the two, I'm gonna have to put.
I got Luka as my one.
Right. So I like my matchup there. I'm cool with that one.
Oh, okay.
At the two, though, I'm gonna have to put like KD right there. I'm gonna have to go big. I'm gonna have to put KD at that too.
That's cool because you could definitely add a guy like Siakam or somebody. Sure, give me Siakam just for.
All right, so I'm cool with that matchup too.
Okay.
But then once we pass those two, that's where it gets funny because now I got to go with like Jason Tatum. I guess I got to go with Tatum.
Oh, so he playing small ball.
Huh?
We don't have to play small ball because I know his next 3 picks are some fucking 2 centers
But I'm
and
at
a power forward.
So I got to go Tatum at the 3 right now. If I'm taking an All USA team, and I go Tatum over, and that's Giannis, and you winning that matchup, bro, all day.
Yeah, I think Giannis can defend Tatum. So yeah,
you winning that matchup. I ain't even gonna argue that. And then I got to go Embiid, and that's the biggest problem with the U.S. right now. We don't got no bigs, bro. Like, cause who's the U.S. big? Like, we wanted it to be AD, but I mean, don't get me wrong. We all love AD when AD is right.
It's AD or Cat.
It's AD or Cat.
I take AD knowing I know if AD coming down, he gonna get hurt. But I'm gonna take AD. He got some heart.
Don't disrespect Cat like that.
I mean, Cat from Jersey, he a punk. That man got no heart.
I mean, you took Ja over Kyrie. Like that's it is what it is. But I think the All Euro team 1 through 10 smokes 1 through 10. I think that's a sweet.
No, because I think the All Euro team is more top heavy than the All USA team. 1 through 5, I think Euro's playing. But
so
I
who
think
you gonna
once you get
put
to 1
against
through 10,
Embiid and Jokic then?
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to go AD and Cat. I mean, I don't have a choice.
Yeah, you're done. You're done. You're done. Yeah, you could have said Zion. You could have thrown Zion in this.
Nah, but that's the thing. My next 5 is crushing the Euro next 5, and that's where it gets. That's why it's different still, bro. Because my next 5, I'm punishing the Euro next 5. Yes, and then my next 5 after that is punishing their next 5 again. Everything after their first 5, I'm punishing. That's a fact. That's a fact, bro.
I'm gonna write it up tomorrow. We gonna make this.
Wait, where's Middleton from?
And then, except for Luka, every single Euro, bro. I'm even gonna include Jokic in this, bro. Every single elite Euro has some sort of abnormal ass, physical talent. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of U.S. players that don't have that, bro. You know what I'm saying? That are on that elite scale. Like, what I'm getting at is like, okay, Giannis, bro. That dude basically 7 feet and is somehow still the fastest player on the court and the strongest. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was gonna be nice whether you was a Euro or an American. You feel me? Like,
Jesus Christ.
Like, it didn't matter, bro. It didn't matter where he was born. He could have been born in Alaska. He was gonna be a dog. You know what I'm saying? And then like even with Jokic, bro. I mean, he's 7'1". I guess him and Luka both have much less of a case for that, but I don't know, bro. I feel like these I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong about that, bro. Maybe I'm totally wrong about that. But like even Embiid, I mean, bro, Embiid is 7'1". It didn't matter where he was born at, bro. I'm not just saying just because he was a Euro, he was nice. But with Luka, I got to give him that. Luka is like, his game is like the opposite of what we were getting in America for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And he's taking the league by storm because of it. So I don't know, bro. Maybe you wanted something, T. Maybe the All Euro team beats the All USA team.
I mean, it's worth
top 5.
I mean, in my mind, it's worth like a pay-per-view game. Like, I'd pay to watch that pay-per-view.
Yeah, because there's no point of watching and getting hype over like America take out countries that only has one of those guys on their team. You know what I'm saying?
We've seen America lose to Pau Gasol.
The Spain squad.
You know what I'm saying? Gasol, Ginobili. Like, So
Nocioni, boy.
Oh, shit.
Nocioni, and they had a squad though. Now I know who was. It was somebody else from that was in the league. Oh, Scola, Louis Scola, boy, out there cooking on us.
Come on, man. So we seen the U.S. get taken out by YBS Scola. All right. So yeah, I don't know.
He said America don't have enough players playing for their lives. Oh yeah, that was funny, man. Said the point.
So no. He on to a point that I've seen on Twitter, I've seen in social media, and I've seen it with my own eyes. The suburban kid that has access to resources and support systems and trainers are far more skilled than the guy that has to go outside and dribble a basketball on a court that has no net on it. Like once upon a time, a guy could go to the playground and reasonably learn enough basketball to be a factor in high school and get coached up from there. Now, the guy dribbling around in high school, he might have a tough time getting score against kids that's been training, playing games. Like they just understand basketball a little bit better. And I think an argument could be made that those kids need to play more outside. But look at the draft. Look at the draft. A lot of these guys you see getting drafted, it used to be the single parent, the mom, I came out the hood. Bro, it's a lot of former NBA players. It's a lot of former, my dad played D1. My mom ran track. My mom played volleyball. My dad was a D2 JUCO transfer superstar. Like, those guys are dribbling out of poverty over there to a certain degree. And it's less and less of that in basketball, at least.
Right. And you know, I think another interesting thing about that, one of you said earlier, they're playing for pride. Yeah. Like in boxing, right? You'll have these like European boxers who don't turn pro till they're 34 or 35. And you wonder, why do they do that? They could have been turned pro, been making money. But it's because once you turn pro, you can't compete in the Olympics anymore.
No, you can't.
In boxing. And these dudes want to compete in the Olympics every 4 years, bro, because that's all they really care about. You feel me? Like the Olympics means more than going pro to them. But for so many kids now growing up, when they think about basketball, their only goal in basketball is the NBA. So everything is tailored to that. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a time where a lot of kids' goals was college. You feel me? Like, I want to get to college and play ball in college. It ain't matter what the college was. They were just trying to get to college. You know what I mean? So then if that's your goal, then maybe, like you said, T, like you are much more directed towards high school. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready for high school. But if your goal is to go to the NBA, like, and your parent knows the chances of you making the NBA, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's really what you want. You know, you got a lot of kids getting in that direction early, and it takes a lot to get there. And it's going to take more and more to get there. As we see, you know, these kids starting earlier and earlier, man. Like the reaction time is going to be crazy. As soon as you go right on their hezzy, they know what to do. If you go right, they know what to do instantly because they've done so many drills on it. You know what I'm saying? Versus, see, that's a good point too. The kid that played at the park all day, he learned the same lesson, but learned it in a different way. And how does that benefit you, or does it? You know what I'm saying? And when does that come into play in the game?
Look, it does benefit you. You know what I'm saying? It gives you a perspective that the trained kid doesn't have. But like, I'm gonna give you a perfect example, right? The park kid, he gets up maybe on the weekend, maybe after school, he takes his ball, he walks to the park. You know what I'm saying? That's as far as he can go. He can't afford to pay AAU fees. He can't afford to pay for a trainer. He gets to play on the local team with somebody's dad coaching that, you know, hopefully knows a little bit about something. But back in my day, AAU didn't start till 10. Now AAU starts in first grade. So we have 6-year-olds waking up on Saturday morning, breaking a press at 8 a.m.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Go
Jesus Christ.
On a Sunday or Saturday morning, get in there about 8 or 9 a.m. You're going to see 6, 7, and 8-year-olds running press breakers And they can't tie their shoes yet, right? Ref got to stop the game. They got to walk over to the coach to get their shoe tied. But they could run a press breaker.
That's fucking impressive as fuck. Even without the shoe time.
Kid gets the experience over the kid that's traveling and has the support to drive somewhere and play the game at practically at a higher level.
So, I got a question. So, at what point does talent succeed all of that? At what age does talent show?
Always.
No. So, at any age.
At any age, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, your best bet, hopefully a coach drive past the park and see you going crazy and then say, hey, I'll pick you up and put you on my team and all that. But at the end of the day, like a lot of times in basketball, talent comes down to athleticism. You know what I'm saying? At the younger ages, if you faster than kids, you're faster than kids, right? If you're stronger than kids, you're stronger than kids. So talent, you're always going to notice talent, but you can still get outskilled. You can still take 5 talented guys, and the 5 skilled guys are might pick them apart. Like you could be the most talented guy because we always had one of these in the neighborhood. A really talented ball handler, but he could really only dribble with one hand. But he could get anywhere he wanted to. But he could only dribble with one hand, and his shot might have been a little janky. That ain't gonna cut it no more.
You sound like the New York Knicks.
That ain't gonna cut it no more.
Right.
They telling the kids you take away his right hand before they telling kids how to multiply. So
wow. So being ambidextrous is a plus now in the league.
You just got to learn the skill of dribbling with both hands. Yeah, like But it just goes to show like how the game is evolving and where it's going. Football's trending the same direction too.
Yeah.
Interesting times, man. Interesting times. And like, y'all know my prediction. Eventually, college sports as we know it, the NCAA as we know it, will all be gone for this very reason, bro.
Well, depending on what sport.
Nah, just as we know it. You feel me? Like,
bro.
Pretty soon, college sports ain't gonna mean nothing, bro. It's gonna mean the same thing the MVP and the All-Star games mean. Okay.
That's wow. And how many years is that, good mister? Because that's crazy.
It's gonna start with college football. Like I told you.
No, it's not. No,
it's gonna start with college football, bro.
But them people down south, they ain't gonna let that shit happen.
It's about 15 years away.
Look, that's like a whole kid away. You can have a baby right now and let him turn.
Bro, what's gonna be the point? What's gonna be the point of watching, college football when the friggin' New York Giants will have a 10 and under team? When the New York Giants have a 16 and under, you ain't gonna care about college football no more, buddy. when the 49ers got a 17 and under squad, a 17U, and all those players are the ones that end up being on their main squad eventually, you ain't gonna care about college football. What's the point? Like, there is no college football no more.
You're talking about boosters. What is gonna happen to those folks? People that pay players to come play for the teams. Yeah, this boosters.
I'm not saying that college sports won't exist at all. It's just not gonna be the same as we know it, bro. It's really gonna be about the college. It's really gonna be about like how much you love that college, bro. Because the best players not gonna be in college sports. That's my point. Is the best players are not going to be in college sports, and once that happens, it's gonna be less money going to college sports, and then the best players got to go somewhere. They're going overtime elite, things like this. More and more of these things are going to pop up. Pretty soon, teams themselves are going to associate with individual clubs like overtime elite and things like that. Once that happens, bro, it's over. It's over, bro.
They could probably already backdoor and make some connections and say, hey, get this guy, and he might not get drafted, but we'll throw him on our G League team if he goes to this. If he doesn't go to college and goes to the overtime elite or goes to some, there's a lot of potential for that. But how do you All right, what do you say to this? There's still going to be a lot of players that don't make it, right? Because going pro is one of the hardest things in the world. What happens when the 30 for 30s come out, the documentaries come out about the guys that didn't make it, but now they also don't have any college experience or college degree, and they out here in the world can't
pumping it out.
Don't.
What guys are you talking about?
You said what?
What guys are you talking about?
I'm talking.
I'm
talking about guys we know personally that chased a sports chased a sports career and might not have finished school, and now
most of the guys I know that chase a sports career didn't finish school anyway. All right, not having the option to go to college or not wasn't going to change that. All right,
but there was always an emphasis on them going to college.
No, that's true. That's true.
And I think that could remain because how do you navigate, at least in this country, how do you navigate the world with no education?
No, I'm not saying college is gone, bro. Like,
yeah, but
I mean, college is still gonna be a thing.
Nah, but
college sports still gonna be a thing. Scholarships.
You on science 17U. Believe me, you lost your eligibility.
Right, like, but I'm saying, that already happens though. Like, you know what I'm saying? That already happens in like everywhere except here, right? That already happens in Europe everywhere for every sport. It already happens here in baseball, right? And to a certain degree, soccer. You get drafted straight out of high school in MLB, bro. Ain't nobody worried about you after that. Like, you're making the same argument of people that said 18-year-olds shouldn't get drafted straight out of high school because what if they don't make it in the NBA? What if they flame out after a season? Now they don't got a college degree. Like, if you want a college degree, bro, you can always enroll in community college. That's on you, bro. Like, you tying your basketball hoop dreams, to the only reason you're getting a college degree, like that in itself is already an issue. So I feel you, but I don't know how many lives are going to be changed or affected based off that alone. I think if you want a college degree, then like that's going to be in you regardless of like, what I'm saying, going to the league.
Every year, maybe 5 to 7 guys have the potential to go straight to the NBA, even back then. So we're talking about 10 or so guys that could be affected. If you have a New York Giants 17U, now you're talking about 700 guys, 800 guys that decided to forego potential college and education to attempt to make it in football. Where,
but hey, at the end of the day, only 52 of them can make it, Playboy.
Come on.
At the end of the day, it's even if it's a 17U, it's only going to be 52 16-year-olds that can make that squad, bro. Like, you feel me? Like, so, end of the day, it's still going to be spots out there. It's just, my point is, we're approaching a point where the best talent's not going to be in college, bro.
You make a very good point, though, bro. If there was a league started for NFL caliber talent to forego college and just play in that league, and you could play, let's say you play for the Giants, right? And you're playing with Brian Daboll's, you're learning his system as an 18-year-old running back. By the time you hit 20, we could plug you right into the offense.
Right, bro. It would be crazy, bro. It would be crazy. And that's what's happening at Manchester United. You feel me? So when what's my man? When Marcus Rashford comes up, like, yeah, he already been with us since he was 15. You know what I'm saying? He know what we do here, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? When name that star comes up, when Lionel Messi comes up, we I know he's small, but we knew he was a prodigy since he was 9. You feel me? Like, we good, like, and the team that identified that gets to keep them the whole way through. And you know what? A perfect example of that is baseball. Because you think about a guy like Juan Soto, right? The Nationals nabbed Juan Soto when he was like maybe like 15, 16, bro. Sign him to a deal straight out the Dominican Republic. But you can do that in baseball, though. Nobody really bats an eye. You know what I'm saying? Because for some reason, it's the only sport where it's kind of accepted. But like, imagine if they just were to break off of, and that's why when I saw the NIL, that's what made me say it's over. Because like, That's what baseball is. It's the NIL. So in a situation with NIL, what is the point of college anymore? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of the institution? Because college, at the end of the day, they're institutions. There's no point for that institution to begin a dollar. Like, you feel me? We can X that institution out now. And I think that's what's going to happen eventually. We'll see.
I never thought of it in terms of teams having, like, I could see a league, but I never thought of it in terms of a team having direct relationship, if not ownership, of a youth. Like
look, like baseball is the only league that currently does it, right? There's a reason why they have 6 levels of minor leagues under each team. You feel me? That's a part of what keeps baseball alive a little bit. There's 1 million baseball teams. Every state got 4 professional baseball teams. Like, you feel me? Like, if you know it or not, your state got an extra baseball team in it. You know what I'm saying? Now imagine if the Commanders had a team that played in Greenbelt, you know what I'm saying? Like, and another one that played at Audi Field, like, bro.
Not real. What we got here? Bay Sox, Del Marva, something.
They got all sorts of things, bro. And the games really be lit. Like, not that it's the best experience in the world, but they got fireworks. You know what I'm saying? They got cheap food.
Fox Stadium.
Yeah, they get 100. They get 500 people to 1,000 in almost every game. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's something to do.
I don't think with football though, because the liability. I don't think because these are the sports.
Don't forget, people are taking that liability for free when they go to college. For years until NIL, they were already assuming that same liability for free.
Well, not necessarily for free, because
don't give me the college scholarship as a payment, bro. Don't give me that.
Associated with a scholarship.
Don't give me that though, because you can get that scholarship on financial aid, which means, in my opinion, Scruff will tell you one of my favorite lines is, you know, like, the lowest price I can get something is what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? So if I can get a college degree for free, it ain't really worth nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Jesus Christ.
Bro, that's market. That's market value. The lowest price you can get something is it's worth, man. And if your financial aid straight, get a college degree for free, bro. So the whole the payment for CTE was your college degree. I don't buy it. I don't buy it, bro.
Cool. Cool.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. And the more I think about it, the more I sit here and think about it, the more I would rather watch a minor league San Francisco 49ers than have to figure out who might get to my team from Wisconsin, Purdue, the Big 12, Big 10, whatever it is. Like, it makes so much sense, bro. It makes so much. I don't because think about it, bro. I have no attachment to Alabama, the state,
the team, the organization.
To it. But I have to watch Alabama because I assume that hopefully somebody from the university will make a difference in my sports club.
Right. And the interesting thing about college sports is, you know what they've already proven, what college sports has already proven, right? Is it doesn't really matter how good the players are at the school. You know what I'm saying? People are just rooting for the school, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can have some shitty players. As long as the tournaments are still there and the bowl games are still there, they ain't gonna care if they're not getting the top prospects no more. So college is gonna be able to keep going, bro. But as we know it, what we know it as, what we appreciate it as, man, that shit gone. That shit was gone, in my opinion, with NIL. I just think it's just a matter of time, bro. Because why? It's no point for them to still be giving the institution that money when the whole point now is just to pay the player to eventually get to the league. You know what I'm saying? I can do that. I can give you that in a way different form. If you just want to make money while you're playing, you know what I'm saying? Okay, we can have a way better format for that. That saves us way more money. And that slots you in. Because see, right now the NIL shit's completely unregulated. One player can be getting $24 million a year on NIL. Another player that's in the same class with him, same meeting room, is getting $24. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like they gonna regulate that, bro. You know they gonna regulate that. You know they gonna give
Nah.
you first year you're able to make this much, second year you're able to make. Come on, bro. Like they did that to NFL contracts, right? Remember when the rookie deal? Remember when the rookie deals used to be crazy in the NFL? They're like, hold on. We got to slot these guys in.
Russell, Sam Bradford.
Bro, come on, man. Like this is only a matter of time, bro. This money
Oh
about to
my
go
God, that
crazy
Sam
for a few
Bradford
years.
contract. Y'all remember that shit from the Rams? Like, you got a buku money.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
No,
Like
Reggie Bush had to give his Heisman back over $300K, bro.
Yeah, I hope
300K.
they didn't give him back his money.
Nah, he got the money, but I'm saying he had to give the Heisman back when they found out about it. Over 300K, bro.
he won.
These players are getting 20, 15 million NIL. Come on, bro. You think they're gonna let that money train just flow like that? That doesn't even make any sense. That doesn't even make any from a capitalism standpoint. It doesn't make any sense. Like, hold up, we gotta funnel this. We gotta pyramid this down, right? Like,
but this Reggie Bush though. Reggie Bush in college is heyday. Is oh my God, he's stopping.
yeah.
Hey, let's shift to actual football. Like this whole Lamar Jackson saga is never ending. Like,
No time soon.
dog, like now he's coming out and saying he requested a trade, and Harbaugh saying he plans on having him. Like this is I don't know, man. This is an interesting situation because there's so many dynamics at play. You got race, you got the quarterback position, you got agent versus non-agent, you got the NFL versus collusion, I guess, or collusion versus the players. I don't know, but like, there's so much going on with this Lamar Jackson situation. I'm not even asking how it ends because I don't think it ends soon. But I guess what I want to know is Lamar Jackson like what's gonna what's gonna happen from this Lamar Jackson situation? Like, what rules will come in place? What type of framework will be built after this? Because we know right now he's just on a life raft trying to figure it out. After this, things may change. What potential changes do you see like coming down the pipeline from this situation?
No more franchise tag. Players are gonna start going. They're gonna take that away from teams. Franchise tag. They're gonna do with that. They're gonna push it to at least the format that the NBA has it, where like we'll play you more to stay than anything. But they're not. But I think the franchise tag is over. Like if Lamar Jackson sits out this year, a star in that caliber and doesn't play, it's different when it's Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, he
And
was
that's
up
a
first.
running back. But you're talking about you're literally the faces of the NFL, one of the faces of the NFL, sit out a whole year for a guaranteed contract. I mean, when is their next the CBA? When is that? When is their next talk? Right? Because I don't think after this Lamar Jackson situation, I don't think players are gonna stand by having a franchise tag.
That's a really good point, and I think that makes so much sense. But I put this out in a text in a group chat. I'm shocked that other quarterbacks aren't supporting Lamar Jackson publicly, right? I'm shocked that the agents aren't either. But I get the agents kind of got to be in the middle, but I'm shocked that at least other quarterbacks, because if Lamar get paid, right, don't that mean Burrow got to get paid? Don't that mean Herbert got to get paid? Like, it's eerily quiet from those guys. Are teams telling those guys, hey, just shut up about it and we'll take care of you? Like, I'm wondering why these guys are so quiet. But Bryce, what do you think, man? How do you think this thing is going to change the NFL and the structure of things?
Man, that's a good question, bro. Because I never even thought about it from that perspective. But whenever the NFL gets a black eye on it, someone can point at the NFL and say, "Oh, you guys are in the wrong," whether you can point up at it being a racist thing, a sexist thing, anything that has to do with like some sort of social justice, they always make a change, bro. And sometimes the change is real, and sometimes it's like a Rooney Rule, And if you don't know about the Rooney Rule, Google that. I would say I don't see it being as drastic as G does, them just lifting the franchise tag completely. Because I think the NFL, I don't know if the NFLPA would fight that hard for that. 'Cause I think the franchise tag can be in the benefit of the players as well. The franchise tag, to me, is one of their better options, that gives the team control, gives the player money still. But I could see them doing a thing where, like, maybe they extend the time that a team has to negotiate. See, a problem with this Lamar Jackson situation is the tag that was applied to Lamar Jackson, right, requires any team that wants him to offer up, make an offer to Lamar Jackson that the Ravens then get the opportunity to match. If the Ravens don't match them, they get 2 first-round picks. So, like, it's really all the cards are in the Ravens' hand, bro, because it's like, if a team offers Lamar Jackson, the Ravens just going to match it. So why would a team, if you're a team and you got a young quarterback that's decent, but you like Lamar Jackson better, why would you go out, offer Lamar just to get it matched by the Ravens, and now your young quarterback feeling like you don't really like him? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense for teams, And I think there needs to be a situation where if it gets to this point, the player has the option to become a full free agent, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be something in there because that's the issue, is that Lamar is not a free agent, bro. So, like,
it's the franchise tag. The issue is the franchise tag. Literally comes down to that.
Like, there should be some sort of
can't beat
rule.
around the bush.
It's like the issue is the franchise tag, yes, but the teams have to have some sort of reward for drafting well. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you draft well, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I don't hate the franchise tag.
No, because
Go ahead.
Go ahead, T.
The reward is the play I put out on the field. That's your reward for drafting well. Like,
okay. So, like, what I'm saying though is, T, you got a 5th round pick, so you only get 3 years with them instead of the 5 or what? You only get 3 years with a 5th round pick versus the 5 you get with a 1st round pick, right? The last year is an option year anyway, right? The 5th year option, 4th year option, 5th year option, right? So, like, that's not fair, bro. If you got a 5th round pick that ends up being a dog, and you supposed to just lose him after 3 years because you found this dog in the 5th round,
you're getting penalized.
You don't want to play him.
You should have identified that talent much earlier. You wouldn't have had that issue.
But nobody else. Okay, I feel you, but nobody else identified him. So I don't know, bro. I feel like I'm not mad at the franchise tag, but
so why not pay him then? If you found the dog, and now it's up to you to pay him to keep him, why not pay him then?
Yo, if you don't offer market value, bro. This is the rule, bro. If you don't offer market value, right? I should be able to be a free agent, bro. Even if you franchise me. If you don't want to offer me market value, bro.
Bro. All right.
Because franchise tag is giving me market value.
Have you ever went
for 1 year?
Yeah.
Looked at the menu and saw items say market value and bought it?
Yes.
No.
You have?
At a restaurant?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
So,
man, treat yourself, Kings. Get that market value, man.
Be the problem.
Don't do that shit.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Buy some bad fish.
Personally, do it right, and it's not because the meal is good or bad or in between. It's because you're charging me whatever you say the market value is. Like, that may or may not be the market value. If you tell me the Chilean sea bass is $72 today, like, bro, like, I'm supposed to just take that? Like, I got $72. That's what y'all saying the market is? I'm gonna go and get that. No, bro. How much?
Smoking krills.
The fried shrimp then. Hey, what's the market on fried shrimp? All right, give me the fried shrimp then, because I don't believe the Chilean sea bass market.
Hey, go ahead, bro.
And it better be the jumbo fish.
I just feel you, bro. I ain't even gonna play devil's advocate right there because you make a good point, bro. You make a good point. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, like these teams, I don't know. I feel like the franchise tag is a valuable asset for teams. And I think in some instances, it can be a valuable asset for players as well. See Kirk Cousins, bro. That man got rich off the franchise tag.
He rolled the dice and got lucky.
And got lucky, literally lucky. And mind you, Trent Williams was his fucking left tackle the whole time. So was he going to get hurt?
Like there's an amount of luck involved with being franchise tag, and
I think away with the franchise tag. That's how y'all both feel.
If you got to.
If you're really power to the players, then away with the franchise tag, because it does not give it. Players can be compensated, yes, right, and it seems fair. It seems market value, but it's really a way for the team to hold all the cards, like with Lamar Jackson. Like the team has the leverage. The only way to beat the franchise tag is to outplay the market.
Okay, yeah. Let's not forget though, the franchise tag is one of the only fully guaranteed contracts in the NFL. That's nothing to keep in mind, bro. When you sign that franchise tag, you're getting every cent of that money, bro. Unlike most contracts that are signed. Where
okay. All right, let's say I'm Lamar Jackson. I play under the franchise tag. I get that 1 year fully guaranteed, but I blow my knee out. I just lost my value. So I just traded my 5 year, whatever, 100-something million guarantee for 37 million for 1 year. Like, nah, that's a bad investment. Like, it's a bad choice. Like,
but you can always sit that out. You don't got to do nothing.
You franchise me, I'm not playing.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. You don't got to do nothing.
You franchise me, I'm not showing up. Like, I'm gonna sit at home and y'all can collude against me all you want, but at the end of the day, like, somebody got to be strong enough to break the franchise tag system. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kirk got lucky. We can't always point to Kirk Cousins and say this is why it works. I'm sure there's a lot of evidence to say guys got franchise tag and never regain their value. I'm sure it's happened. I have to look.
For sure. No question. More often than not. More often than the guy, like, balling out on the franchise tag and getting another deal, bro.
I think, G, you should be the head of the NFLPA, bro.
Oh, man, I'm gonna get canceled and get set on fire. No shit.
And you perfect for the job.
Oh yeah. No, but you're right. I'm gonna set the building on fire, and a rich white man gonna get me assassinated. Oh, one weekend. Bam! He lived a hell of a life. He goes through G. That motherfucker was reckless.
Can't believe folks out here. I'm gonna ask that on Twitter, bro. I can't believe folks out here paying market value for seafood and steak.
Bro, you're fucking.
But here, okay, but you
See, you do that with a company's card. I'm not doing that with my personal money.
What I'm saying, you trust in their whole menu that they're just telling the truth about their entire menu, right? Like,
no,
you know what I'm saying?
No.
You trust the rest of their menu that they're telling the truth about how much stuff costs.
But
because it says market value, you know what I'm saying? They chicken tenders already marked up. Everything marked up, man.
Bro,
inflation is a motherfucker. That shit kicking my ass.
On the prices. No, man, because I can see all the prices and say, I don't even want to go to this restaurant. Or I can say, no, just give me the soup and the salad. Or I can just man up and pay whatever it costs. But that market value is a number that it could be different for me than it is for the man at the next table. How do I know?
Yeah, no cat.
The waiter.
I like a little mystery sometimes. Hey, bring me that market value. Don't even tell me the price. Just surprise me with the check.
The waiter on the price of the menu items. The waiter could come and say, "Hey, man, that 24-ounce lobster. Hey, I told bro it was 80 tonight."
Bro,
I charge him for extra butter.
Tip all crazy now.
No, man, no.
Now you tipping an extra $15 on your bill.
I might have just blew the lid off a conspiracy, bro. I'm Foxy.
You guys know what Lamar Jackson needs to do? He needs to diss a couple players from that Ravens squad, and they're gonna trade his ass.
Yeah,
you got to get the locker room to hate you now. There's one thing management might despise you, but they're gonna keep you just to say fuck you. And now
No,
once you get the locker room
but
high and going,
it's going to backfire because of like you don't got the agent, but two, like Bryce tweeted, bro, they down in my man character in the media. So if you're going to feed into the narrative that they just created, they falsely created for you. They got out ahead of you. So if they said you got character concerns, so if you display character concerns, they're gonna say, "See, told you."
Right. And they keep trying to say like they try to slick talk about my man's character in the same line, be like, we have no character concerns. It's just we think we don't trust his sleeping habits, but there's absolutely no character concerns. Wait, hold up, yo. If you don't trust my sleeping habits, that's clearly a character concern. You're saying something about my character. Something about my character can't get me to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, they crazy, bro. Free Lamar, man. Free Lamar, bro.
So I'm gonna be company man T, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit.
Put the company man hat on.
Yeah, because I felt this way about Zeke when Zeke kept getting in trouble early in his career. That sometimes the team is actually protecting you. Sometimes, like, they're actually protecting your reputation. And there does exist a possibility in which the Ravens they have legit character concerns, and it's not we're just trying to get leverage. It could be literally like we have multiple instances where if this situation got out to the public, it would be crazy. Maybe we have to keep sending drivers to pick you up because so you can avoid DUIs. That's what the program's there for. But if I got to send 10 to you in a month, like, it's indicative of a problem. And I'm not saying this is true, but what I'm saying is there really could be a situation where the Ravens have legit issues and they're getting villainized by the public, but they could really be protecting my man's image and ego. I don't know. I doubt it. I'm not inclined to agree with millionaires and billionaires. I would rather side with the people, but I do want to be open-minded enough to say that possibility does exist where, because sleep patterns, because why not just come out and say he's hanging out all night, right? To say we're worried about his sleep, to me, it seems like we still are trying to, like, we don't want to rub Lamar the wrong way.
Yeah,
so,
leave it up to the imagination. And to you company man T, I have to hand it to you, company man. Every once in a while, a company man makes a hell of a point, bro.
wait, but company man T, quick question: is it him being responsible to ask you for your help on my late nights to get me home safe a bad thing?
No.
If you put those contingency plans for me not to fuck up, and now I'm getting in trouble for using your plans, how am I at fault?
that just makes you a responsible driver. It makes you an irresponsible person.
Right. And then to your point, yo, like, not agreeing with the billionaires and millionaires. And I feel you to that. But it's like, yo, the PR person that calls in the rides for these dudes when they get lit, they're not a millionaire. You know what I mean? They're making $65K to do that. And sometimes they probably are going up and beyond in their job, you know what I'm saying? And probably really looking out because they start to care. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like, that can't go unnoticed either. So who knows what these people know about not necessarily Lamar Jackson, but any other player. That's a good point, bro. I would have never thought about that.
I mean, and from personal experience, I've seen heard firsthand accounts of players doing stuff that, bro, if it got out, like, I could have broke stories. I'm gonna just leave it at that. If it got out, what some of these guys have done on injured knees or
Oh shit! Hey yo!
I'm telling you.
Nah, it's facts. It's facts.
These some freak bulls that you told me.
I mean, not necessarily that. I mean, but if you got a torn ACL, you shouldn't be in the party with picking up strippers. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's my kind of play.
Like, you you might could freaky stuff too. You shouldn't. Like, it's just that there's two sides to every coin, and most people want to buy into the underdog story, and I think that's innate because most of us come from more humble beginnings than the silver spoon. But like sometimes these organizations are really protecting the character of the man. How many stories do you think the Cowboys have about the '90s Cowboys? Aikman, Irvin, Emmett, and all those guys. Like
Them sound like some freak bulls.
think about this. What happens when these college stories, like when these stories about college athletes come out, that Aaron Hernandez and things
My
like
man caught 3 bodies, you heard?
they're
Allegedly.
like, so as much as we want to say the Ravens are doing Lamar a disservice, it's hard to really know unless you're in that inner circle. All we know is that it seems like they don't want to compensate him for how he's performed on the field. That's all we actually really know.
But if that's the case, right? If they're trying to protect him from something, then they don't want to play him, then let him go. It's clearly you don't want to be held responsible for this character no more, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. They still want to be compensated. They ain't letting them go for free. And you know what? As this continues to play out, we'll definitely continue to monitor it. We've been on top of it. But I think that something tells me, bro, that there's a surprise coming, man. Like I feel like, I don't know, the longer this gets drawn out, the weirder I think the result will be. Like, you feel me? Like I think it's gonna get kind of funky with this Lamar Jackson Ravens NFL thing. I think it's gonna get funky, bro.
All right, so before we leave, do you think he's in the AFC or he goes to the NFC?
I don't know, bro. Let's not forget, Lamar made his announcement at the same time that Jim Harbaugh took the stand to talk to NFL reporters. You know what I'm saying?
He should have told us.
It's about to get funky, bro. For real. They started dropping like that whole memo that Lamar had somebody negotiating for him when it was just a business partner he was finna launch a business with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, bruh, I don't know if he dropped the business in reaction to that to be like, no, this is just my business partner type of thing or what, but it's getting funky, bro. And there's a rat in Lamar's camp, bro, and he got a rat in the NFL's camp because he's finding out little tidbits, but somebody running to them and telling them shit. You know what I'm saying? This might get ugly, bro. This might get ugly.
So if you're saying Lamar Jackson got an insider, that means there's people that actually like this guy.
Yes, I'm sure he does. But I also think that somebody in his camp is like probably giving information too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because I don't believe Lamar Jackson is dumb enough to have some guy who's not a registered agent call on his behalf and negotiate contracts, right? So somehow somebody from the league found out that Lamar is in a business relationship with this dude. You know what I'm saying? So how are they finding this out, and how are they finding out on this level to the point where they want to put out a memo to say that that's his agent? You know what I mean? Like that's shady, bro. That's real. Like,
and you're right, because I was thinking the whole time, like, me not having an agent to the world would absolutely mean I'm still seeking counsel from someone else.
Of course, bro. Like, and how dumb of people to think, right, that Lamar Jackson, who's on the precipice of a contract that could be worth upwards of $250 million, has his mama as the only person he's listening to. How dumb do you have to be to believe that, bro? And and shame on you if you've allowed the media to make you believe that, bro. Shame on you for thinking that man would do that, bro. Shame on you for thinking anybody would do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mama said, "I'm not drinking water."
Right, like I'm just going back to the crib. Like, hey, mama, they you see the last contract they sent was 175. What you think, ma? Nah, okay, nah, we don't. Like, come on, bro. Stop playing, bro. Like, this man got people that's advising him. But you know the difference between his people and all them other people? His people don't want 5% or 10%, bro. That's the difference. They like, just give me one. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what to do. Just give me. That's the difference, bro. Yeah. And people don't like when you buck the system, bro, because systems are put in place to make sure things can be continue to be controlled. Yeah, and Lamar is bucking that system, and shit gets ugly. The only way shit don't get ugly when you buck that system is if you bucking the system, don't change the system. If you bucking the system, don't change the system, it doesn't matter if you buck. But Lamar bucking the system could change it, and they ain't going for that shit, bro. So this shit about to get ugly, man.
I'm gonna just go ahead and answer G question real quick. I think he goes to the NFC, but really more than that, I think there's teams make desperate moves in desperate situations. So let's say, and I'm not wishing injury upon players because I've been accused of that before, but let's say
non-contact.
Let's say Sam Howell looks really good in OTAs and goes down.
I hate you.
Who? You said who?
Bro. Why'd you have why, bro?
Howell, former quarterback at University of North Carolina. Let's say hypothetically he goes down and everything was humming. Like, bro, this looks like we have a chance to contend. We got McLaurin, we got Dotson, running backs going crazy. The defense is going crazy, and our quarterback goes down. I think a team absolutely says, I don't care what the Ravens and Lamar, it's worth 2 first-round picks to keep this train going. And there's a few teams out there I think that could be the case for.
I think the Patriots. I think you heard rumors that Meek's trying to push. Trying to go to the Pats. I don't know.
Bill Belly gonna know what to do with him. Bill Belly gonna know what to do with Lamar, bro. I promise you that.
I mean, Lamar gives you the pinnacle of what a lot of teams want to do, man. Move the chains and play defense.
Yeah.
So, but I guarantee you, if the Patriots do it, they're gonna find a way not to give them 2 draft picks.
You know what? Hell yeah! After that Randy Moss trade,
them draft picks are literally holding this whole situation up. Lamar would have been gone if a team didn't have to break the bank and draft picks. If it was one or the other, but to break the bank and give them the draft picks.
Nah, but I don't even think it's that. I think it's the teams know that unless you go over what Deshaun Watson got, the Ravens are going to match anything up to do what Deshaun got. They're just not going to give it to them themselves.
I don't think so. I'm calling the Ravens bluff.
All right, even if you call their bluff, right? You know why a team don't want to call their bluff?
Why?
Because then Lamar bucks the system.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the
he
day,
got the biggest contract ever in the history without an agent.
So we circling back to collusion.
It's about to get funky.
I don't think so because what's the left tackle from Texas that got a contract?
But remember though, Laramie Tunsil's contract doesn't change the system, bro.
No, it doesn't.
No, but
he got 50. 3 years, 75, I think, 50 guaranteed. Something like that.
Richard Sherman.
Man, them little petty contracts don't compare to Lamar Jackson's contract and the language that's going to be included. Like tackles and interceptions versus passes thrown, passes completed, first downs, touchdowns, like
yeah. And the greediest part of it all is I think fully guaranteed is the biggest holdup, bro, with the NFL people. And that's just so greedy, bro. Greedy, man.
Imagine if you give Lamar a fully guaranteed contract and Burrow go out and win MVP, Super Bowl MVP. How much you got to pay Burrow? And that's what the NFL is afraid of, bro. But I think Brooks makes a good point. I would rather, if I really like the talent in this year's draft, I'd rather give up 24 and 25 than 23 and 24. So if I wait till after the draft.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I haven't heard that point before, but I like the logic in it.
That is actually smart. I didn't even know about that.
Madden franchise.
Yeah.
I would never trade the current draft because I scouted those.
Right. That's a good point, Brooks. I didn't even think about that. I did not think about that at all, but that does make sense. I don't know, man. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I know I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm waiting for that Lamar Jackson news, man. I hope the best. I hope he gets his I heard this. Herbert's supposed to get 500. So, like, come on, man. Lamar deserves more than Herbert. He deserves as much as Burrow, And that's where I stand on it. That's where I stand on it, bro. And yeah, there's no getting me off that hill. So hope the best for Lamar, bro. Get that man his money, yo. Get that man his money. But any final words, fellas, before we shut it down for tonight?
No, I don't got too much to say, man. Just hey, if you've been rocking with us, appreciate you, man. Keep on, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like let's go. Let's get these.
And if y'all see Nick, y'all gotta tell him that Jokic is about to win MVP again.
That man gonna be hurt over that. You know, Nick is the number one Joel Embiid for MVP and fan club, booster club, all that. He's going hard for that.
Yeah, he already losing the rest of his hair just stressing over the MVP.
Stressing over the MVP, stressing over a meaningless award, over award that no longer has meaning, man. Sad.
Jesus.
Hey, good stuff tonight, fellas. Y'all know how we end each and every show, man. Sports for the culture.